Nikita Mazepin was one of the three rookies that made their debut in 2021, along with Mick Schumacher and Yuki Tsunoda. However, he has gained a very bad reputation for himself, mostly due to the fact that he wasn't able to keep his car on the track. Mazepin has gained different nicknames that were mocking his driving style, such as Mazespin. The young Russian driver hasn't been able to deliver good performances throughout his first year and was sacked from the HAAS team due to the Russian-Ukrainian war of the 2022 season. This was considered a very unfair movement by the team by many F1 fans, as Mazepin has never recalled being close to the Russian government. However, his father owned the company that was HAAS's main sponsor, Uralkali. So the sponsorship of the company has also been sacked prior to the 2022 season. But what do other F1 drivers think of Mazepin? Do they think that he is competent to race in F1, or was everything just a big mistake from HAAS to bring him along and give him an opportunity? Stick with us until the end of this video and find out the opinion that F1 drivers have regarding Nikita Mazepin and his performance, as you might be surprised to what they have to say. Although Mazepin had the status of a paid driver due to his father's economic influence on HAAS, he didn't get into the F1 world directly. He was a champion in the Russian Karting Championship and did well in F2. Prior to F2, he raced in CIK FIA Karting Championship, finishing second behind Lando Norris in the championship. Also, he tried out in GP3 where he finished second, the Asian F3 Championship where he finished second, and then he managed to race in F2 where he finished fifth. In 2021, he received the chance to drive an F1 car with another rookie, the son of the legend Mick Schumacher. HAAS was really an underperforming car in 2021, as the team hasn't managed to pick up a single point throughout the whole season. With that being said, let's start the list of drivers who have shared their thoughts on Mazepin's performance. Nicholas Kieser is one of the drivers that gave his share of the pie about Mazepin. He was an F1 driver in the early 2000s, driving for Minardi and Jordan. His choice of words was very interesting, as he said, "Mazepin disrespects the agreements made between drivers, especially in qualifying. When it comes to your behavior and conduct on the track, it makes a difference to know that whatever you do, Dad is always going to keep paying," said Kieser. Kieser isn't very popular in the F1 world and is probably most known for partnering with Jos Verstappen, the father of the reigning champion Max Verstappen in Minardi. Kieser has raced in only 5 Grand Prix in the 2003 season, which is a lot fewer compared to Mazepin. But his thoughts didn't end there, as he added, "You definitely can't have that mentality when you come from Scandinavian countries. We have to behave properly and not do too much on our own initiative until we have earned enough money to be able to say, 'Okay, I'm good enough,'" said Kieser, referring to his Danish heritage and Mazepin's behavior in the paddock. Mika Salo is a Finnish driver that used to race throughout the 1990s, as his main stint was in Ferrari. Apart from Ferrari, he drove for Lotus, Sauber and Tyrrell. Salo was very critical of the HAAS driver, but later changed his opinion and has stood in defense of the Russian young lad. "At the time, we didn't know their car was going that bad. It's just a terrible car. Nikita has learned a lot since then and is now riding very well. Everything is much better than in the first race," added Salo. He also gave his thoughts about the frequent collisions between the two HAAS drivers, despite Mick being faster by almost a second than his teammate. "It's not normal, but when your car doesn't work very well, the only one you can fight with is your teammate. They are almost 3 seconds slower than all the others, so it's quite logical that they are almost always next to each other on the track. Nikita is now almost matching Mick in terms of speed. That is why they are constantly facing each other," finished Salo. Ralf Schumacher is the uncle of Mick and is known for his racing career under Jordan, Williams and Toyota. He has been able to achieve 6 wins in his career and has been quite vocal regarding the performance of his nephew's teammate Nikita. Ralf said that Mick has suffered a lot because of the mistakes his teammate has made throughout the time they raced together. If you look at the Russian's performance, this cannot be a reason in relation to Mick. In addition, the sympathy and marketing effect with Mick is better. Nikita isn't anywhere near Mick anyway, said Ralf. His comments were considered pretty harsh ones, and although anyone would expect him to be defensive of his nephew, Ralf said some pretty sharp stuff. For example, on one occasion, he said that he wishes the Russian would exit the sport at the earliest. Exclusion of Nikita during the current season is not an alternative because Mazepin brings a lot of money to the team. In my opinion, financial interests can be the only reason why the team boss keeps standing in front of Nikita, finished Schumacher. Nikita has also shared his thoughts on Ralph's comments, saying that it's not right for current and former racing drivers to put themselves above the commissioners and say what should have been done. Next on our list is Jolyon Palmer, an ex-F1 driver and current commentator and analyst. Palmer was one of the first experts that criticised Mazepin for his bad performance at the Bahrain debut. He did it in fashion too, and here is his infamous statement after Mazepin's bad debut in Bahrain. "Oh dear, oh no. So Mazepin has broken the gentleman's code of basically wait your turn and everyone gets a lap. He's gone past all the champions into the final corner, and then he's got down to that first corner and spun. Way to make yourself public enemy number one on your debut," said Jolyon. However, a few months into Mazepin's career, Jolyon has started to share his sympathies with Mazepin. He commented against Toto Wolff on one occasion when the Mercedes principal complained about Mazepin's driving manoeuvres. "We know the narrative against Mazepin comes in with huge backing. He is not the most popular driver and is not doing well. We all know Nikita was made the bad boy a while back. So for sure, F1 always broadcasts the comments about him because people like to listen to it. If they broadcast nice and sweet things said about other people, then nobody would care. So I think it is a little bit attention-grabbing from their side, but we are part of the racing show business, so it is a part of it," finished Palmer. Timo Glock is another F1 driver who shared his thoughts on Nikita Mazepin. He drove in the F1 category from 2008 until the 2013 season for Toyota, Virgin Racing and Marussia Toro Rosso. Timo is mostly remembered for the spin in Interlagos in 2008, with which Hamilton has managed to receive his maiden championship by finishing P5. Timo Glock has shared his thoughts about Mazepin's driving manner and behaviour during the Dutch GP in Zandvoort, when he and Mick were really close and battling for a better position on the grid. The problem is, at the moment, they don't take action against Mazepin until it's too late. You're too late if someone hits him and flies into the air. If that happens at the wrong time, like in Zandvoort, then Mick flies into the pit wall. I would take action in a timely manner, and if he still doesn't understand it, then give him a race suspension," said Glock. "A lot of things come together with him. It seems as if he is overwhelmed. Blue flags, reading situations, many things that he misjudges. The error rate speaks for itself," said Glock when asked about Mazepin's behaviour on track and his ability to judge situations well. Jenson Button is a former F1 champion with Brawn GP in 2009 and is a racing commentator now. His opinion is very strong no matter which driver is in question due to Button's experience as a commentator and analyst. He is also not a huge fan of Mazepin's aggressive driving, stating, "It was a little bit too aggressive. It doesn't matter what happened in qualifying and it shouldn't affect the way you drive in the race. And if it does, you are in the wrong sport because this is a dangerous sport," said Button. He also gave some advice to the young driver, saying, "A team makes mistakes. We all make mistakes, even your teammate, but it's about how you react to these mistakes. That makes you the person and the racing driver that you are. You just have to talk something out. Discuss the problems, and then you come to the track the next day and it should be a new day, looking ahead," Button said. The last thing he spoke about was his honest opinion about Nikita's career in F1, which now seems impossible due to the Russian siege on Ukraine. If he wants to have a long career in Formula 1, then he has to change his mind. He is way too aggressive. He can do it. Do not react to such a situation," finished Button. Unfortunately, Mazepin isn't part of F1 due to a no fault of his own. However, what do you think about the Russian driver? Do you think he deserves a spot in some of the cars, or enough is enough? Let us know in the comments below. Take care and drive safely.